The Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for quite some time, and alongside its release, we have Mario Kart World, the next installment of the Mario Kart series. After 11 years of Mario Kart 8/8 Deluxe, we are finally free, and that is very exciting for a lot of us, me specifically. I have always seen Mario Kart as the golden standard of kart racers, but not necessarily the pinnacle. I feel similarly about the Smash Brothers series. I actually think Rivals of Aether 1 and 2 happen to be better games than 4 and Ultimate. Thus, I don't think the platform fighter Nintendo has created is necessarily the best, but it is the gold standard. You have to live up to that level of quality, then surpass it and or do something unique and different in order to make it your own. You see what I'm saying? Now, real quick, the Bleach video's on the back burner and will drop when it does. I have other things I wish to cover with much more passion and immediate fervor, but I hope it delivers when it drops. It's about 40 minutes long, and I just have some other things I'm really much more passionate about that I wish to speak about for the time being. One of the things I want to say off the bat is, no, this is not a game that's worth $80 USD, or depending on where you are, like Canada, where I'm from, CAD, I believe it's closer to 90. However, if you obviously got it with the bundle package with the Nintendo Switch 2, you paid about $50 for it, and I think this is about a $50 game, all things considered. Maybe down the line, with possible free updates, patches, and additions to the game, then maybe overall it becomes worth $80. Think about what the Deluxe Booster Pass added to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, you did pay for it, but it did kind of reinvigorate and give that game more lasting appeal and extend its lifespan. But however, I am tired of playing it, so it's very nice to move on. Now, I have a long history with racing games in general. That's extreme sports, Supersonic Racing, a game where you run on feet, maybe Sonic Riders. I think there's tons of fantastic video games out there like Diddy Kong Racing, which I think is still one of the best ones. Think like Mickey Speed Racer. I even think that Sonic and Sega All-Stars Transformed, the one with like Gum and Beat from like Jet Set Radio, are all fantastic games. They're super good. Now, Mario Kart, I have played every single Mario Kart in the franchise. The one that I've played the least is easily the 3DS one. That's just because once you gave me bikes, I absolutely refuse to go back. And Mario Kart Double Dash is one that I just don't love to the same degree as my peers, and it seems the larger Mario Kart community. But again, it is not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. To this day, I think Mario Kart DS is truly special, especially its single player content, and playing that in high school amongst my friends was just absolutely fantastic. Mario Kart 64, my personal first Mario Kart, is one that holds a special place in my heart amongst one of my favorites. And what you could call the Super Smash Brothers Melee of the Mario Kart franchise, Mario Kart Wii, has absolutely always been my favorite one and still is to this day, despite the glitches and the way you can kind of break the game. I say all that just to let you know that I am very familiar with the Mario Kart franchise. I have literally played them all. I actually am lying a little bit. I have not played any of those arcadey spin-off ones, nor have I played Mario Kart Tour, but all the like mainstay home and handheld console Mario Karts, all of them have been played from top to bottom. So I just kind of want to give you a little bit of my history with it. Now, I think as a non-Switch 2 owner, I have a unique perspective having played Mario Kart World a ton with my friend, some other friends, and my cousin. And I can't talk about every mode super in depth, but alas we move. We're free after 11 years. I want to talk to you guys about Mario Kart World because I think my take is a lot more tempered than the average person speaking about it, where I do feel like most people are on one end of the spectrum. You're either making it shake for Nintendo, that booty is clapping, and you are shaking ass for $1 billion company, which is a little nasty, or you're just a hater. And I just feel like the answer is somewhere more in the middle. I tend to be a not too high, not too low person. I'm pretty even keeled. So with that, let's talk about Mario Kart World. It's Mario Kart.
Bruh, look at this dude.
In all seriousness, I believe that Mario Kart World is different, not particularly better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think the driving feels pretty good. Every single game in this franchise feels a little bit similar, especially as they started to really polish it, I'd say around the Wii era and moving forward. But you can feel some general differences with the collision and the physics and certain things like that. There are obviously new mechanics and a bit of a new feel to it. But I want to just get one thing off my chest that felt like a personal fuck you to Naya, to me, the literary detective. I am an inside drift merchant. Whether it is broken, not broken, or somewhere balanced, I like to lean into the turn of my bike. And I've basically been able to do that since Mario Kart Wii. Now, again, 3DS, I didn't really play much. I probably owned it for a week, did all the Grand Prix stuff, and like said, I can't really do this because I just need a bike now. I'm not going back to cars or karts. I know they added ATVs in Mario Kart 8. That was cool too. I don't mind the ATVs, but I'm kind of a bike merchant. Because I like to do very precise, sharp turns that pretty much ride the inside of a course when you're turning, I never liked the outside turning kind of cars and bikes, and it bothers me that in this game I have to drift outwardly. I wish there were still some bikes and or possibly cars that can do an inside drift. It is what it is. I can't change it, but it has been by far the most difficult thing for me to kind of wrap my head around. I'm sure once I own the game and own a Nintendo Switch 2 in a few years and get used to it, it won't be the case. But another thing that actually threw me off for a while, I have since gotten used to it, I'd say the last 2 times that I've played, is not having to hold the item button in order to hold one of your items behind you in defense. If you collect a red shell and that is in your item inventory, it just goes behind you or swirls around you if you get the triple shell. Same thing with the banana. You don't actually have to throw it. So every once in a while, I actually wanted to like, oh, I got a banana, I'm going to hold it behind me. I'd end up throwing it because I'm like, oh, shoot. In this game, you don't actually need to do that anymore. And I just have to keep that in mind moving forward. You can now do a boost jump when going straight, which gives you a charge jump, which allows you to grind on rails and even wall ride and jump off those walls and or rails to create some of the craziest combinations and cool trick mechanics you can do in Mario Kart history, I would say. However, I do find that a lot of that slows you down, and the real purpose of it is to get out of the middle or stay out of the chaos, because this game has jumped from 12 racers to 24. On a very personal level, I probably would have preferred 16 to 20, but this is a game that has constantly doubled its racer count every once in a while, so I'm not particularly shocked, and I get it, especially for Knockout Tour, which we'll get to at some point in time. But before we get there, we need to talk about some other things first. But yes, now there's 24 racers, and I feel that the courses have accommodated themselves in order to contain these 24 racers. Thus, these courses are much more wide, and because of the intermissions now, a lot of the courses are a lot more simplistic. Now, here's the thing. The whole gimmick of Mario Kart World is that it is an interconnected entire racing kind of land. When you start Grand Prix, you first do 3 laps, and instead of just kind of appearing in the next race, you actually have to drive there. So the first 2 laps or 3 laps or sections are you driving to the next course and then simply doing one lap around it. I'm not a hater of the intermissions. I just think that the intermissions work best for Knockout Tour. Again, we'll get there. And you should always have options in it to be able to do 3-course races on a very natural sense, do intermissions, or some combination of both. I do think transitioning into some levels do make them a little bit more hype, like Rainbow Road. Again, we'll talk about that soon. But I think Nintendo doing that weird online update with the random selection, which forces you to kind of have to play more intermissions, is not cool, because I don't think Nintendo and the people who made Mario Kart should decide how us, the player, the consumer, the person who has purchased this product, should have to engage and play with the game. Very uncool. I think options are fire. You should always have as many options as humanly possible in order to just curate the best experience you can for yourself and the people around you. That all being said, I do think the intermissions are hit and miss. There are some that I find to be quite fantastic, really cool, great and fun, and even really cool to maneuver around, maybe ride on a wire here or there, find a nice rail to grind on, go inside a truck and just drive over everything and destroy it. You can kind of go into some vehicles like boats and helicopters and UFOs for a short period of time to like go faster and kind of skip some of the non-stop chaotic action. But I'm not a hater of the intermission tracks. I do think that there should be more combinations of them, and you should be able to link into them in more ways, because you can do that to some degree in the free roam, but it is what it is. I do think with 24 racers and now everybody being able to hold 2 item slots, the item carnage is out of control. I even thought it was a little much for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, personally speaking. This invites something that I'm not a fan of, especially when it comes to portions of the race that are intermission likes, with more straight line courses and straight line maps. Bagging has become the dominant strategy to win. I don't like the idea of bagging. I have never liked the idea of bagging in Mario Kart. And sometimes you get what is called Mario Karted. No matter how well you're racing, if you hit every single shortcut, every boost, every trick, you did everything perfectly, Mario Kart as a game, because of the RNG, can just completely fuck you in the end. You get hit with a lightning, then a green shell, and someone runs you over, you get hit off, and somehow you came last. That happens, but I find that if you are a very talented and experienced Mario Kart player, that was rare. Let's say out of 100 races, that might happen to you 6 times, 10 at most. Now I find that that is the Mario Kart experience, and I don't think that I like that. Maybe if I own the game and played a lot more, I'll find ways to avoid it or get around that. Maybe they'll patch certain things, but for the time being, I find the item carnage to be a little overly chaotic. I'm not a fan of it. With some of the additions of the new items, like the ice flower and the retooled boomerang, the gold shell that now like leaves coins and I think targets first place, and like, I just think it's too much sometimes. I really just want to race. I think part of the fun of Mario Kart is driving, being able to drive well, and being able to actually catch up, pass, and beat players who are relying on items, because you have a better understanding of the course layout and you're just typically a better driver. I'm going to say this for the comments who are going to tell me, get better, get good. That's totally fair. I'm nowhere near as good at Mario Kart World than I got at 8, Wii, 64, and some other ones. I will open this challenge. If there becomes a way for us to race without items, race me. I have never ever in the history of Mario Kart lost a race where there were no items, which means I drive better than you. You can pick Funky Kong and the Flame Runner. It doesn't matter. I'm picking Rosalina and whatever cart I feel like using, bike, sorry, and I'm going to beat you. And thus, I think that makes me a better player than you. I know item management and being able to use it at the right time and maybe cutting through the right portions at the right angle, at the right speed, at the right distance is a skill, but ultimately I feel like items are a crutch and just a luck-based system designed to hold back the players who are naturally better at the game. And this game, I find, is one of the strongest examples in the Mario Kart franchise, where you are almost at the mercy of whatever items other people have, you have, or items you lack. If you just got something and you got shocked and you lost it, well, you might be out of luck. As for the courses themselves, I think they're magnificent, which is why I think it's important for us to be able to, whether it's locally, alone, or online, to be able to do 3-lap races kind of whenever you want. You should be able to toggle items on and off and create whatever chaotic, less chaotic, or shoot, normie, completely remove all the disorder version of Mario Kart World you want to play. I think options and being able to toggle things on and off is really good. But I think the courses are amazing. I think Rainbow Road is an absolute blast and an experience to go through the first time that I will never ever forget. This has to be my second favorite Rainbow Road ever. The transition going into Rainbow Road is crazy. However, I still think Mario Kart Wii or 3DS, sorry, has my favorite Rainbow Road, but this is right up there. Knockout Tour is, in my opinion, easily the most fun mode in Mario Kart World. Oh my god, it's just the thing that I play the most. And I find that if you can maybe find a way to implement it with the 3-course system or some of the main courses, it would just elevate it to a next level. But with these, you just pretty much race through the intermission, kind of in between tracks or in between roads, between all of the actual Mario Kart maps. Knockout Tour has you start with 24 racers with 6 different racing sections. Once you reach that at the end of a section, the last 4 racers get knocked out. So it goes from 24 to 20, 20 to 16, 16 to 12, 12 to 8, 8 to 4, and then it's just the last 4 of you. Whoever wins, wins. And it's so fun. I honestly love this mode a lot, and I can't believe I haven't really seen this in any racing game before, at least that I've played or could think of. You guys absolutely cooked with this one. I think what Nintendo really needs to do with a future update is, I know in free roam there's so many more like little like interconnected courses and things like that. They should make different and more routes for you to be able to add more Knockout Tour kind of like races and courses and different ways to get to the end. It's really good. I honestly like it a lot. Battle mode is not something I'll spend much time on. I played a little bit. It's battle mode. I've never cared for battle mode in Mario Kart except for DS and 64. I know 8 Deluxe apparently has a really good one. Just didn't really play it. But, you know, I do think that if you're going to charge people $80 for this, you should probably put a lot more effort into it. As for online, I've played online a lot. Yes, you know, you just kind of have to race against other people and heroes. I can't necessarily completely speak to the online experience because I don't own the game, but when I did play it, for the most part, we did have the option to do the random mode thing to play 3 lap courses. That has been edited and patched out. I have not been online since that, so I don't know if it's changed like people's, you know, love for the game or whatever the case may be, but I've heard that some discords have found a way to kind of circumvent that. So more power to you, Switch 2 owners. And free roam, I think free roam is something that I would enjoy a lot when I eventually own the game, because I like to kind of just come home after a long day and just kind of decompress and have a therapeutic moment with gaming. I even played Gravity Rush or Breath of the Wild just riding around on the Master Cycle to just kind of unwind, you know, like come home and just play some Bomb Rush Cyberfunk and just skate around, do tricks, grind rails, be absolutely fucking awesome and epic. Just have fun with it. I feel like free roam is a mode I'd use for that. I do think they need to help you track all the things you can get, and when you do a P-switch, let it be known that you've done it already, or show some type of indication that you've already completed it. But I have played a couple of the P-switchers. I found a couple of coins and a few stickers. Free roam is not at all what I thought and hoped it would be, but ultimately I do think that it's kind of okay. But I totally understand if you think it's like not good, not great, not fun, and they should have done more with it, especially since they made it a selling point. But for me, I'm not the person who would go try to grind out all the stickers and whatever else it is you can get, because the unlockable system and unlocks in this game is really stupid, and I just refuse to engage with it. So I'll get all my characters, my carts, and kind of just move on with my life. To unlock a lot of the NPC characters, you have to use the Magic Koopa Kamek item and basically just hope you're on the right course, or if it's a course where you can possibly get multiple NPCs, you gotta hope that you get the one you don't have. So let's say, I guess you want Coin Coffer, but you already have Nabbit, and the Magic Koopa item comes, Kamek, sorry, and it's in play, and it hits you, you can turn into Spike, and you might already have Spike, and you basically wasted that opportunity. Which means it's completely luck-based for you to unlock all the characters. That's terrible. That's ass. That does not move me at all, but you know, I suppose it is what it is. Another thing this game did that I thought was not really it, though I understand it, but I have issues with it, is I really like customization. I wasn't one of those people in Mario Kart 8 just because the mini boost stat was really good, used those dinky little blue wheels. I forget what they're called. No. I always play any game the way that I want to play with whatever character I want to use, even if I'm playing in a competitive environment. I don't care about necessarily subscribing to the meta of the game I'm playing and having to play it the exact same way everyone else is. The character roster UI is terrible, though I think the character roster is it's fine. I would argue probably Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has a better roster with Link and Splatoon people and whatnot, but ultimately I'm just gonna pick Pauline and or Rosalina, and every once in a while Peach or Daisy. So it doesn't really matter who else you add there. I'm just gonna pick the same characters that I like, and now that a lot of them have a lot of costumes, except DK and Pauline, which I think they'll get more costumes when Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out. I'm okay with the character roster, though I can totally understand somebody being like, no, this is not it. I'm not picking Para Bitty Buddy Goomba. Like, if you were gonna do this, in my opinion, you should have picked like actual characters that were of these races. Like, why not Goombario or Goombella from Paper Mario 1 or Paper Mario Thousand Year Door? You know, you have Toad. Yeah, Captain Toad. You have Toadette. Toadette's an actual character, you know, Toadsworth or something. Like, if you were going to pick, like, Spike or something, why not use, like, Tuba Blubba or something? Tuba Blubba or Macho Grubba or something. Like, I thought they could have just not picked the generic Snowman and generic Dolphin and generic Super. Maybe try to, you know, dress them up a little bit and make it one of the characters from the various Mario Kart games. But, hey, man, it is what it is, right? So yeah, character roster is fine to me. I'm cool. I got Rosalina, I got Pauline. I don't really need anything else, so I'm fine with it. The music in this game is fantastic, and I agree with some of the tweets and commentary I've seen that you should have like a radio to be able to toggle through songs in free roam, because why the hell not? The menu is fine, though free roam is kind of hidden with the plus button. It took me a while to find it when I was playing with my friends Switch 2. And I think this game has potential for a lot of great potential updates, possible updates. We'll see if they make you guys pay for it or not. But again, it's Mario Kart at the end of the day. You know what you're going to get. Like, I just feel like some people are being overly ridiculous, overly, I don't know, sympathetic, depending on which side of the spectrum you fall on. But it's Mario Kart. You know what you're going to get. It's different. It's got it's got its own new gimmick. It's a little different, but at the end of the day, you are playing fucking Mario Kart. Like, they all kind of have a consistent level of standard with whatever particular differences they have added to each and one of their games. So I will leave it at that. I think the game's is cool. Like, honestly, right now, I'd probably give it like a 7.8 out of 10. Like, it's a good game. Like, it's not blowing me away. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's like something you should buy a Nintendo Switch 2 for, but it's fine. And with that, case is closed. I am signing off. Please like the video, subscribe. Again, I apologize about the Bleach video, but it's going to come out when it comes out. I got some other things I just need to get out here on this channel and make it more consistent, and then through the multiple videos I'm working on, hopefully I can just kind of tackle that and knock it out the park. So you guys be safe. Have yourself a mighty fine day. Did I convince you to buy Mario Kart? Not buy it if you already own it. Do you think I did the game justice? And do you think that my perspective as a non-Switch 2 owner who's played a lot of Mario Kart actually offered a unique point of view? Let me know. You guys be safe. I'm out.